Previously, Eusebia Catterall was sold in the name of marriage to a callous person, Canach Riadon, the emperor of Riadon Empire, to form a political alliance between their kingdom. But her treacherous brother Dietrich Catterall assassinated her just after her marriage. However, she gets another chance and is transported back in time to change everything again from the start. And in this life, she again met with her same betrayed brother who said something that shocked her visibly. So, let's dive into the chapters 4 to 6 of the manhwa. My sweet enemy, thy name is husband. Dietrich informs Eusebia that the people of Archaea are doubting her magical powers, and, as her loving brother, he does not believe in their false accusations, yet acknowledges the saying that where there's smoke, there's fire. Dietrich further states that he does not blame her at all since they are the bad ones to expect so much from a girl who is herself so helpless. Listening to his piercing words, Eusebia suddenly remembers the same tone and look on his face from her previous life, when she happily announced to him that she can use magic now, with which she talked with the flowers in the garden who showed her their beautiful memories. Dietrich responded with the same tone, dismissing her magic as nothing more than a cheap trick in the eyes of the people, and he demotivated her, implying that her magic would disappoint the subjects when they learn that their princess ends up prattling with weeds and leaves, labeling her as a princess who received a curse instead of a blessing. As she remembers her hellish past, she abruptly staggers a bit. However, an airy spirit appears above Eusebia. By putting its hands on her, it states that Eusebia can do nothing because she is still so weak, questioning how someone like her could possibly protect Archaea and exact justice. And it reveals that it is her own spirit which can be seen only to her, who adds that the Argen would did not choose her for anything. Her god merely wanted to watch her suffer all over again. Eventually, Eusebia stands swiftly by releasing a heavy breath. Noting this, Dietrich inquires if everything is all right with her, at which she does not reply at all but considers that she has to go to the Argenwood to find the true motive behind her rebirth. Dear viewers, apologies for the interruption. If you're genuinely enjoying the content on this channel, please consider hitting the subscribe icon with all notifications, since this little support of yours will help this creator continue delivering high-quality work to brighten your day. And take a moment at the end of the video to leave a comment, sharing your thoughts on the content. Your feedback means a lot. Now, let's not take up too much of your time and jump back into the story, for which Eusebia lands in the cold biting forest of the Argenwood. Her guards suggest that they should head back because it is not safe to be outside in this blizzard. Glancing at the red pendant in her hands, she mutters that it is shielding her from the cold. By kissing the pendant, she expresses gratitude to her father for giving it to her. And she determines that she will not lose her loved ones again and resolves to do whatever it takes to change her fate and save everyone. In an instant, she kneels down on the ground, reflecting that she may not have enough magic, but she still remembers how to put into use. She further adds that she will use the only ability she has and will communicate directly with the trees in the forest. At connecting with the roots of the forest, Eusebia begs the trees to hear her voice and to lead her a path to seek an audience with the Argenwood. And, as she pleads the Argenwood to permit her entry into the forest, the surrounding bad weather gradually subsides, confirming that the Argenwood has answered her request. Having received permission, Eusebia orders her escort to stay here and wait for her return. She then enters an invisible gate which leads her to even deeper into the woods. By breathing heavily, Eusebia realizes that she can feel the cold right down to her bones. However, she notices a very thin voice coming out of a giant tree, referring to Eusebia as a child. It adds that they meet once again, and asks her about what brings her here this time. Hearing the voice, she gets shocked, contemplating that it is the same voice she heard as she traveled back through time. Extending her hand, Eusebia asks the Argenwood that for what divine purpose has she been brought back to life. Besides, she also questions whether the Argenwood will grant her the power to defend and protect her people. Eventually, the same voice interrupts her, stating that Eusebia seems to have misled herself because despite the Argenwood has been watching her all this time, but she has never answered Eusebia's prayers, since that privilege is reserved for the monarchs of Archaea alone. To this, Eusebia affirms that she knows this already, but she was certain it was the Argenwood's voice that brought her back. Yet, the Argenwood suggests her to go back home because her mortal body is too frail to withstand the biting chill of these woods. Nevertheless, Eusebia shouts that she does not care. Plus, she would rather perish here than watch everyone she loves die in the war. With swollen eyes, she pleads the Argenwood to let her protect them this time. On top of which, let her save Archaea. Upon which, the Argenwood speaks, acknowledging that though Eusebia was a guardian, her magic was weak. However, this guardian of Archaea decided to share her left life force with Eusebia, so she can defy fate and change Archaea's future this time. Suddenly, Eusebia's heart starts to race abruptly, because she hallucinates the same spirit of her, who states that someone like Eusebia cannot accomplish anything, and she is fated to die a miserable death again. Raising her head, Eusebia determines that if that is her fate, then so be it, because she is done cowering in fear. With this statement, her received magic sprouts several green roots from the ground, which grows tall high in the air. From here, the time passes to 10 years ahead, where a soldier slaps another on the back of his head, reminding him to do his duty properly. The soldier then rebukes the other to guard the board gate precisely. However, the soldier's gazes grab the attention of 20-year-old Eusebia, who looks more elegant than before. After some time, she is escorted by the same soldier, who informs her that they have had far fewer causalities since she began watching over the borders. Moreover, the brambles she conjured on the walls have already doubled in defensive capabilities, and the arrows and shields she crafted proved effective even against monsters. Besides, she is the sole reason that the Archaea kingdom has not been in the war for a long time. With a smile on her face, she imagines the dreadful war of her past life, and how 10 years have passed since she was sent back through time. During this period, the Argenwood's boon strengthened her magic, and over time, she gained the ability to accelerate and alter the growth of plants to support in the Archaea's defense, because they cannot afford to be lax during the time they have given before Emperor Canach and his Riadon Empire attacks on Archaea in this life. Although Archaea's military has improved under her leadership, but the Riadon's strong soldiers are on their doorsteps. However, her deep thoughts are interrupted by a soldier who states that they got a direct message from Canach Riadon. An attendant reads the message and conveys that Canach Riadon has only one demand, and that is to marry Princess Eusebia. Hearing this, a royal member springs up, shouting that Canach Riadon has no shame at all to ask for the hand of the princess in such a manner. In the middle of this argument, Eusebia deeply ponders that these are the same people who readily surrendered her to Canach in her previous life. Moreover, the only thing that has not changed from the past is Canach's demands, and she wonders if it's only because he was once a slave who broke his fetters to rise as an emperor that he became such a cruel and ruthless man. Eventually, Dietrich intervenes by saying that nothing pains a brother more than to send his lovely little sister to the land of savages. He then very beautiful adds that as the crown prince of Archaea, he must think of their nation first. Furthermore, when Dietrich asks Eusebia about her decision on this, she affirms him by cleverly putting a smile on the face. Besides, she expresses that she has been waiting for this opportunity all her life. For here, times again passes a week ahead, where Dietrich comes to meet Eusebia in her room, stating that he wanted to bid his farewell before she leaves for Riadon Empire tomorrow, and he suggests her to be gentle to his Riadon family because he would not be there with her. Further, by throwing a necklace on the table in front of her, he asks her to take this necklace with her, since it is a sending crystal which allows a person to communicate with other on a long range. But when Eusebia asks why he is giving it to her, he responds that he wants her to report each and every step of Canach Riadon during her stay there. And, by putting a conspiring look, he adds that the marriage is only in name since it is a perfect way of buying time until they get what they from them. However, she worriedly shouts that this would not end well if Canach ever finds out. Moreover, it could cause a war. To this, Dietrich smirks and expresses that her dumb sister does not know that they are preparing for war, and due to which he has come to see her tonight. He shocks her more, announcing that with enough preparation, slaying Canach would be a simple task for them. Listening to this revelation, Eusebia confirms that he must have joined hands with that hooded figure again in this life. Therefore, he has gotten his hands on magical items this rare. Eventually, a thought nags in her mind that if she refuses Dietrich, he will go for the next available alternative, causing a war by having her assassinated. Plus, asks herself if there is no way to prevent fate from repeating itself, because she thought that her efforts were enough to stop Dietrich in the war. He then abruptly asks to convey her thinking on the topic that marrying Canach would really solve all their problems and bring lasting peace to Archaea. Further, by slapping some papers before her, he discloses that guardians of Archaea are cursed to remain barren for life, and becoming a guardian means dedicating her entire being to the Argenwood's service. She will be unable to use her powers outside of her kingdom, on top of which, there will be no hope of passing her magic onto a child of her womb, which shocks her visibly. For crushing her even more, he adds what will happen if Canach discovers that the bride he purchased with an alliance is a barren woman who cannot give him any heirs. Whispering in her ears, he utters that the fire of Canach's anger will burn their beloved Archaea down to ashes. From here, the scene shifts to midnight somewhere in the forest, where a masculine person just comes out of his bath and gets interrupted by another person who informs the naked man that Archaea is an easy target, then why they are not directly striking on them. At which, this macho man rudely orders him to shut up with his nonsense, and asks to give him his clothes. And he is none other than Canach Riadon, who jokingly states that he needs to look clean and fresh before receiving Eusebia as his wife. As we wrap up today's segment, thank you for being with us until the very end. I'll be sharing fresh videos of this manga and exciting new series every weekend. Your support is invaluable, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Your encouragement keeps the channel thriving, and I appreciate it immensely. Until next time, take care and goodbye.